are from Group 1. There is me, Adelia Krista, and Faik. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the marketing management class, and today our group will present a marketing battle review. The industry that we will discuss today is the automotive industry, and we will focus on the two largest players in Indonesia, which are Honda and Yamaha. We would also focusing on the motorcycle industry in this marketing battle review. The first thing that we need to see before we go deeper to the analysis is the situation of motorcycle industry in Indonesia. We are focusing on competitive five forces model to analyze the situation. First that we can analyze is that there is a low threats of product substitution of the motorcycle industry because the small car and bicycle are actually available for the customers, but they have complete different purpose and price range. And the second one would be the low threats of new entrants because the new brands would not easily come to the market, and it will require high investment to provide the dealers and the manufacturing facilities to produce the products. The third will be the high nature of rivalry. Each competing brand has complete product lines and similar costs, so it will be there will be a tight competition in the market. The next one would be the moderate to high bargaining power of customers. And the consumers of the motorcycle industry are mostly price sensitive because they value the quality and traits to pick the motorcycle itself. And usually the price is not the only factor. For example, for people who are choosing motorcycle for hobby. And the last one would be the moderate bargaining power of suppliers. There is a high-end products that require technology and features, so there will be more investment needed, and it will also affect the production from the suppliers.
After we go through the situation analysis, we try to develop the consumer profile using the 6 O's framework. The first is occupants. And our customers are aged 17 until 50, and most of them are in productive age, and they require a certain level of mobility. In psychographic terms, they are active, mobile, some of them are price sensitive, feature oriented, and some of them also follows the development of technology. The second O's is objective, as to why do they buy the product. They buy the motorcycle to support mobility for work, maybe school or daily needs. And they also buy new motorcycles to have a better experience in riding and also to feel good and stylish. The third O is object. The product that they buy vary greatly. So there are automatic transmission bike or matic bike. They can also buy sport motorcycle, or they can also buy the manual transmission, or something that we call the Indonesian motor bebek. Moving on to the next O is occasion, or when does someone buy a motorcycle. Usually they buy every 2 or 3 years. They start to feel the need of new technology, new features, new looks of their motorcycle, and then they decide to buy new motorcycle. But there are also other customers that does not intend to follow the trend, and usually they buy once every 5 years. As to the location or the outlet where they buy the product, usually people in older generation must touch or must try the motorcycle first, so they need a physical store. But nowadays we have millennials and Generation Z customers. They are having no problem to buy motorcycle from online stores. And the last one is the organization as to how do they buy the product. The customers vary greatly in terms of stage of life. Therefore, some of them buy the product for themselves based on peer recommendation or self-research. And some of them, usually young generation, becomes the influencer for their parents because they cannot buy, they haven't yet able to buy the motorcycle by their own money.
Next to the company profile, we will start from Honda. So Honda was established back in 1948 and its headquarters is in Japan. They have three main products, which include motorcycle, automobiles, and power products. The number that we shows on the slide is the number of units sold by Honda according to each product line until 2021 in all across the globe. And in Indonesia itself, Honda owns the largest market share with a total of 75.7% by 2019, and they sold almost 5 million units. With this information, Honda is also considered as the market leader of motorcycle industry in Indonesia. Then we go to Yamaha profile. Yamaha was established 7 years after Honda, which is on July 1955. And they have a broader product range compared to Honda because Yamaha also produces industrial robots and other vehicles such as ATVs, golf cart, wave runner, and other vehicles beside the motorcycle and automobile parts. And for their business performance in Indonesia, Yamaha owns 22.80% of market share by 2019, and they sold almost 1.5 million units by 2019. And for the strategic marketing decision for Honda, the market segmentation of Honda is the combination of demography and psychography, and they have three main segments in the market. The first segment would be the customers with price sensitive and reliability seeking. So they are mostly focused on the moderate to low income customers and older customers. The second segment would be the customers who value the design, features, and technology, and they are mostly less price sensitive, which means that they are willing to pay more for the features and the technology that they need. And the third segment would be the high-end product enthusiasts. Honda also offers several products that are matched with the needs and the wants of the customers with high income, and it also may come from all the generations. In terms of the market targeting, Honda focused on market specialization that provide products that suit with each segment of the market. In terms of brand positioning, Honda in Indonesia have a strong image as a reliable and functional products, and they mostly focus on fulfilling the needs of the first segment, which is the customers with moderate to low income and also the customers from older generation. And here is the tactical marketing decision of Honda. In terms of product strategy, Honda focused on product differentiation in terms of performance, quality, durability, and also styles. Honda also have several product lines. For example, for the automatic motorcycle, they have Vario and Beat. For the cup motor or usually known as Motor Bebek in Indonesia. They have, for example, Revo, and also for the higher price one, the sports motorcycle, they have CBR. And still, in terms of product strategy, Honda still focus on serving the customer in the first segment, which is customers who have moderate to low income, and also customers in older generations. In terms of pricing strategy, Honda offers an optional feature pricing where the customers can purchase the same type of vehicle with additional features and with a higher price. They also have promotional pricing like cash rebates, discounts, and periodical promo, both in their offline and online stores. In terms of integrated marketing channel, Honda have many physical dealers with showrooms that will help the customers who wants to touch and see their products before they buy the motorcycle itself. And for the younger and tech-savvy customers, or we usually call them as millennials, Honda also have the B2B and B2C e-commerce where the customers can buy the motorcycles from the online retailers. And in terms of integrated marketing communication, Honda usually promote their products through magazine, newspapers, and also the social media and the digital ads.
Moving on to Yamaha strategic marketing decision, as comparison with Honda strategy, we can observe that they segment the market almost the same way, because later we will discuss it on the product strategy, but every product that Honda has, it has specific competitors coming from Yamaha product lines. This also applies to the targeting strategy. Yamaha use market specialization, which is provide products that suit each segment. And as you may see on the explanation, more or less it is similar to Honda. So what makes the Yamaha different? It has different brand positioning where customer associates Yamaha with its stylish and unique design and offers new technology in their products. Yeah. So moving on to Yamaha tactical marketing decision, it is very, very similar with the Honda strategy, but there is a detailed difference if we look into it. And in the product strategy, Yamaha also applies product differentiation, where in every product lines they have different form, different performance quality, different styles. However, the difference between Yamaha and Honda, Yamaha specialized more on the second segment where the market is more aware about technology and values highly about new features or new functionality. As to pricing strategy, Yamaha also applies product line pricing and optional feature pricing like Honda, but as we see from the website of Yamaha, they don't explicitly offer promotional pricing like discounts or rebates. As to the integrated marketing channel, they use B2B and B2C e-commerce, and also recruits dealers across Indonesia. And in the marketing communication, they use printed ads, outdoor billboards, events, broadcasted ads, usually in MotoGP racing events. They have ads there, and also they provide brochures and booklets for their customers. They also use a website and social media and also digital ads.
And next, after we gathered the information, Honda and Yamaha are actually having the similar marketing strategy. And for example, this one is Honda. To attract the customer and gain profit, they usually held the national competition of esports for every year. They also have the Honda Sport Motor Show annual event, which are the purpose of these events are to increase their brand image in the customer's eye, and they want to attract more customers. They also have the Honda Bikers Day. It's also an annual event from the Honda itself, which gathered the communities of motorcycle in Indonesia. And for the COVID-19 pandemic, they also held a vaccination program for the employees and public. These programs are expected to increase their market share and also to attract more customers, including increasing the customer engagement.
As to Yamaha marketing maneuvers in last 2 years, the first one that we notice is very crucial and different is the release of mobile application My Yamaha Motor, which helps the after sales service for the customers. And we don't think we have seen the similar application coming from Honda. The second one, as we are now in the pandemic era, Yamaha also helps government of Indonesia to execute the vaccination program, the national vaccination program, and also they help to donate oxygens to hospitals in Indonesia. There are also other marketing maneuvers like jingle competition where they engage their customers who likes to create music, right? Likes to socialize with their friends and create a song or a jingle, short song for their brands, for Yamaha. And then similar to Honda, they also held esport competition because as we know, esport is very, very popular nowadays in Indonesia, especially for Generation Z and millennials. And the last one is similar to Honda Bikers Day, Yamaha community also has something that is called virtual maxi touring. Usually it is not virtual, but now because of pandemic, they use virtual and they utilize an application called Y Connect, where the participants can socialize with other participants and monitor how much milestones that their peers are achieving using the motorcycle. So how many kilometers or how many miles their friends already collected. It creates a point of interaction between the customers. So coming to the main discussion of this video, what we can learn from the battlefield. So on the surface, both are very similar in tactical marketing strategy. What Honda does, usually we can see that Yamaha will do that too. However, the difference is, if we look more detailed on each marketing program, maybe the first is both implemented website platform for customers to search information about products. However, in Yamaha main page, they don't have promo page. Instead, it has Yamaha racing page. Both Honda and Yamaha has similar segmentation of product, right? For example, in their automatic transmission motorcycle, they have Aerox and Vario. However, on the detailed design, between the steer and the seat, Vario has leg rooms, so you can put things there, like groceries or maybe something you need to bring to your destination. But Aerox, the product doesn't have like room, so basically you don't have any space to put things between you and the steer. And the third difference is both conduct bikers day or touring activity. However, Yamaha conducts a virtual touring utilizing Y Connect app to accommodate each bikers monitor each other milestones progress. And Honda conducts rather conventional touring. So these differences are consistent in their all marketing strategy. So you can see that Honda is more conventional. They don't really put effort in technology, in being up to date. So we can see that millennials and Generation Z is not yet their priority. However, if we see Yamaha, because currently they are a follower and they are trailing behind in the low end product. It is hard for them to catch up with the market share of Honda. Therefore, they try to be more up to date and try to capture the emerging markets of millennials and Gen Z in the future by focusing on technology and trends. So they have a different brand positioning here.
And after we analyze the whole situation of my motorcycle industry in Indonesia, especially for Honda and Yamaha, we come to the recommendation strategy for both the market leader, which is Honda, and for the market challenger, which is here is Yamaha. For the market leader, we recommend to focus on more customer engagement in order to boost the customer retention. For example, Honda can hold more annual events that supports the brand image and the brand awareness to attract more customers, not only the millennials, but also the events that can boost the profit from the older generations. The second one would be covering more market segments by producing and promoting products according to their needs, by also considering the price and also the features that supports with their needs and wants.
As for market challenger Yamaha, the strategies we recommend is first, Yamaha should maintain and increase loyalty of millennials and Gen Z as they do now, with specific marketing programs because they will soon become the largest population. Second recommendation is we think Yamaha should increase the below the line marketing activities to gain share in low end product, because currently this is the biggest market, the biggest money is there, and there are so many customers there. And one of the way that they can do it is use the boom of ride-hailing industry. Many drivers need a low-end product. They need a motorcycle that drives long but cost less fuel. The third recommendation is Yamaha should assign marketing program, specific marketing program for low-end market to low-end products.
That's all from our presentation today.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a good day.